Jesus was now in Jerusalem. He carried on teaching. When asked questions, he often gave answers by telling stories. We call these parables. Over the last few years, he had often used parables to teach. On one occasion, he had taken his disciples up a mountain and spent the day teaching them about how God wants us to live. What he said to them there is often called the Sermon on the Mount. One piece of wisdom he gave them was this: treat other people the way you would like them to treat you. And when other people treat you badly, instead of treating them badly in return, you get it right. Be good to them. That is such wise teaching. If we all lived that way, the world would be very different and a much better place. At the end of everything else he taught them on that day, he finished with a story, a parable, about a wise man and a foolish man. In his parable, he said, there were two builders, a wise builder and a foolish builder. Now, a good builder, when he builds a house, doesn't start simply by putting the walls up. First, he has to get the foundations right. Nowadays, this means digging trenches and filling them with concrete. Then he starts to build the walls on the solid foundation. Back then, 2,000 years ago, a good builder would find ground where there was solid rock to build on. In Jesus' parable, the foolish builder didn't do that. He simply started to build onto the ground, and the ground was sand. The building went up, but soon came down again. When a storm came with heavy rain, wind, and a flood, the building collapsed. But the wise builder carefully chose solid ground to build on. When the storm came, no matter how heavily the rain poured, or the wind blew, or the flood rose, his house stood firm through the storm. Now, Jesus was not giving a lesson on how to build houses. He was teaching us how to build our lives. A wise person, he said, is a person who listens to what God says is good and lives that way. A person who doesn't listen or who doesn't follow what God shows us is very unwise, like the foolish builder. Here's a song. If you listen to the words, you can hear the parable again.
Have you heard about the foolish man who tried to build his house on sand? When the rain came pouring down, when the wind came whistling round, when the water rose and flooded, then he wished that he had studied how to build a house. The foolish man was sad, his foolish house was bad. It simply couldn't